enchantment. Come, little children, the time's come to play here in my garden of shadow.
All right, and then it fades out. Spazzy, where are you going?
We're gonna go hype trains now.
Oh, okay, run. No. Seb, you can do it. Just you. It's okay. I trust you. I believe you. You have a booming voice.
PR is good PR.
It's true, even if it comes from you. Sorry. It's okay, because I know him. Okay.
Now that he's gone.
Is there any... are there any early questions? Well, first I guess I should introduce myself and people up here. Sorry, I need to... Hang on. It's fine. Sorry. Hang on. I need this. Okay. Hi, welcome to the Shamrock Drinks a Red Bull panel. All right, let's do this. So, right. Okay, drink that. All right.
Don't drink that.
So for those that do or do not know me, I'm DJ Shamrock. I own and operate Celestia Radio. That's cool. We've got all the people that are alive. That's all that matters. It's fine. These people are alive. All right. So I have some other awesome folks with me. If those people would like to introduce themselves, I'll start with this guy over here.
I'm Spaz. I'm not horse famous. And I own but don't operate Derpy News.
There you go. Derpy News, everybody. Our brothers in arms in the fight of media, organized crime, and other things. And then Seb.
Huh?
I don't know. You're a guy. Explain who you are.
I'm Sebastian. I'm one of the co-creators and editor of a podcast known as Edit That Out. We had a panel here yesterday. Yeah, don't woo if you're part of the podcast. That's just sad.
It's true. Yeah.
All right.
There's an army of you.
That's it.
Okay. And then we'll go back over here on this side of me.
Well, I have many names, but I'm called Minty Chip. I'm not really part of CR yet, but I bring Shamrock some moral support.
Yes, this is my special sun pony, so...
Schmoopy-doo.
Thank you.
I'm Swivel, and I used to be CR staff until they actually wanted me to do something.
It's true. He vanished faster than a tornado. Sorry, that made more sense in my head than it sounded. Anyway, I don't know. Sorry, I curse occasionally. I promise I'll try to avoid it unless nobody cares, in which case I don't either. This is Shamrock's Beard panel.
This is the sack of potatoes.
Sack of potatoes. We have some awesome little.
Very valuable prizes.
They're very valuable. The single prize.
They're really hard to get.
You can usually.
You actually have to ask a question.
You have to ask a question to get one of these. They're rare. They're so rare that
Sepisto touched them.
Yeah, it's true. He touched all of these. I'm not sure in what ways, or if they were
Well,
sexual.
he dumped them on the
way.
floor in a corner of a room.
Well, right. Yeah, he didn't like that very much. But they're semi-horse famous. They've seen a lot of people. They were at the con that shall not be named, were they not?
They were.
They were at the con that shall not be named.
This is pony history.
It is
guys.
pony history. It is a valuable piece of merchandise of which cannot be bought.
You can't really sell them either.
Well, but that's not the point.
You can try.
But the point is that
you can't even give them away, really.
I
mean, I got rid of all these, and they came back to me.
I know, it's fine.
She's in this room, I swear.
Yeah, she's somewhere. Oh, wow, 4 people walked in at once. That was amazing. All right, so basically I'll give these away by 1 or by 5 or 10 per. All right, there's enough. It's fine. They're special. So if you ask questions, and I think that they're cool questions, I'll give you any number of these. It's sort of like whose line is it anyway? I give you points based on how awesome I think you are. And those points are contributed to these things.
I thought the point didn't matter.
Well, they don't, but that's the point, because these also don't matter. So, but it's fine. Anyway, so I can pretty much talk for an infinite amount of time. Hi. But if there are any particular questions about who I am, what I do in radio or voice acting or what broadcast media is like, I've worked in actual broadcast media for a radio station before, done on-air, broadcast stuff, cut for edit and written for copy for broadcast, all those fun things. So if you're here for the technical side of those, wow, 3 immediately left.
I'll be back.
I see. All right. Okay. Thank you. I see.
Come in multiples.
What?
Let's talk about.
I know. I'm sorry. Some people like to know about those things. So if you do like to know about those things, I am more than happy to answer them because I know everything. As far as anything else related to, wow, they're having fun out there.
That sucks.
I think I'm gonna go out there.
Is it? It's more exciting. I understand.
They just walk through our panel.
They just hype train straight through the door. So if you want to know stuff about technical things, that's cool. If you want to know I will answer any question up here. I know it's not an 18+ panel, so I'll try and avoid answering things in an explicit manner. I will not answer that. If you have questions about my shillelagh, I mean this stick here, I mean this thing that I use to walk with, I mean whatever. Or also the beard, or any Irish trivia. I also know a lot of things about Ireland. I don't know, I'm just trying to sell
Raising
myself
Cane's.
at this point. I see one question already. Yes?
What is the most number of things you have stuck in your beard?
That answer is an easy one.
All of them.
It is all of them. 100, and the type of thing. Shut up, phone. The type of thing was barbecue skewers, and I've done that numerous times. I didn't bring any with me this year. I don't know why. We did have spaghetti at one point, but
I hear those skewers are highly coveted.
those skewers were highly coveted. I did it at BronyCon actually, and as soon as I did. And as soon as the skewers left my beard and fell to the floor, the audience ran up and started snatching them and running away like little gremlin things. It was
that's just our audiences in general at this point. I mean, if that didn't stop them from eating the spaghetti.
that provided another question. Right. I don't know. It's a little strange, but yeah.
I was just gonna say they wanted it to be one with the beard.
Right. Yeah. They're desirable. I guess they're a commodity of some kind. They have a value as far as using them to skewer food and put it in your face. I
You
guess.
can also kill people with them.
Probably if you shot them out of an arrow and bow that was made out of
Poison
them.
them, maybe. Poison is it.
Right. I did it again at another convention. Someone did fasten a bow and a string and arrows sharpened out of the barbecue skewers and was shooting people with them. And it was pulling some blood. It was a terrifying scene actually. It was like a World War 3.5 fashion.
World War 3.5.
Yeah. It happens sometime in the future retroactively. There you go. Have buttons. Have a button for asking questions and speaking. I know, but he needs one too. I was actually pretty close. I'm surprised in my non-dominant hand throwing capacity.
I'll pin it to the banner.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Okay. Yes. Good. Yes, sir.
So I'm actually morbidly curious. How?
You get a question for being morbidly curious.
No, I know, but I think you mentioned it at some point or another. But what was it that got you into radio in the first place? Just connections, or?
Cool. So, I've been told a great deal of my life. You're a good, orator. I should have said the word orator since I know how to speak. I was a singer. I did voice acting. In the small stream, and I did a lot of things with my voice. I did public speaking, debate, acting, whatever. pretty much anything and everything you can imagine. And I was back from college at one point where I had done linguistics and learned even more things about voice, which is certainly not required for radio. But we came back home to my hometown of Fort Scott, Kansas, and I was like, well, I'm done with school, and I don't know what I'm doing with my life. So I needed a job, and my local congressman, who I knew personally, because I have connections like that, that is hot, decided to, or I was talking with them at one point and mentioned that I needed a job. And they were like, oh, well, you know, you have a great voice. I heard that there was an opening at the radio station recently. Right? And
you gotta burn him out.
you gotta burn him out. And so, you know, she said, yeah, I actually heard that Tom Knight, the guy that's been doing the morning radio for the last like 50 years, just left, and they probably need somebody. And I was like, sweet. So I went down to the radio station, and their application is the most awesome one I've ever filled out. It was a piece of paper that said name, phone number, and why are you here? And that was it. So I just kind of was like, I thought this would be cool, dot. And then I handed it in. And then the boss man, the guy who ran the radio station, was sitting in his cut-off cubicle thing, and it's got little glass windows everywhere so he can see what's going on, but he's got little blinds pulled down so only he can like see, and he's got cameras put up everywhere. I mean, radio stations are really weird like that. And he saw that I came in and turned in an application. He's like, oh, somebody for the radio turned in an application. That doesn't happen very often. So he was like, come on in. And I was like, oh, okay. So I walked in, and I think this was in the winter. I had a trench coat and everything, and was looking rather grievous. I don't know. I walked in and started talking to him. He's like, well, you got a good voice. I think he asked me like 3 questions. He's like, can you show up to work on time? Will you show up to work every day that you need to work? And are you a felon? I think those were the questions I was asked. And then he said, from those replies, he was like, yeah, you got a pretty good voice. Why don't you go inside our sound booth and record me a little on air blip or whatever. And I was like, okay. I was like, okay. And I had, recordings of podcasts and stuff I'd done in the past, some radio play stuff that was part of my portfolio, and I, kind of gave it to him. And as I, don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
I don't know. What was that?
What band was this?
This is Celestia Radio, brought to you by DJ Shamrock the Beard.
DJ Shamrock, the Beard.
The Beard. I freaking don't know. All I told Pickle was, I was like, hey, I want to see our panel. And then I didn't hear anything aside from when he was like, hey, 7 o'clock tonight, cool. So then, I did that little recording on a CD and did some like, and now the weather, and, shit like that. And, okay. And then he was like, cool, that's awesome. Don't be shy. I see that door. Hello. Hi, person. Bye, person.
You creeped them out.
It's fine. Hey, that's all right. If they can't handle this, they can't handle it at all. And so you can't handle the truth. And so his wife came in and sort of half interviewed with me, and they were like, cool, you're hired. I was like, wow, I didn't even have to do anything aside from speak. So that was a relatively easy one, but it helped knowing about the job via the congressperson. That's kind of a random scenario. Most radio stations don't really advertise when they're wanting people because, I don't know, it's a shallow business. But yeah, so that's how that came to be.
I have a question.
Okay.
Was it cool like you thought it would be on the application?
Wait. Oh, because I thought it'd be cool when I read it out. It definitely was at first. When you're first in there and you understand that like when that light goes on and you press the button and you slide up the thing for the volume,
So satisfying.
and the mic is there in front of your face, and there's no one else, and literally the inside of the booth, unlike the outside here, is totally silent, and it's like almost suffocating. Well, it was literally suffocating because that sound room is insulated by like 5 other rooms locked one next to the other one, all with soundproofing in them. So it's like the middle of a furnace by the time it's 80 degrees outside. And it's very, very hot in there. But you can't have the doors open for any ventilation because then sound gets in the room. So you have to just suffocate. But yeah, as soon as you turn that mic on for the very first time and you're like, tens of thousands of people can hear my voice right now, and there's no one else around me. I'm the only one in this room, and it's just silent and lonely, and you have your headset on and you just hear only your voice. Do I? What?
He's talking about your beard.
Oh, I see.
Your beard.
No, yeah, I just do one of these. No, it's actually, I have to have my hands at the ready for the slider things and the buttons and all that shit. I mean, I don't remember what stuff's called.
Is your shillelagh recorded?
Faders. I have had it in there before. Yeah, it doesn't make any sounds or anything aside from the souls of thousands of people that died in order to make it.
Sound effect,
Oh no, there's no shillelagh sound effect. Just screaming people.
Play the gas.
The what? The gas?
Is that how you're like shillelagh?
No, it much more evil than that. But yeah, so it was definitely cool. Terrifying, like probably the first couple times. Then once you get used to it, you're like, oh yeah, I kick ass now, And you got to get into that. You got to get into that radio attitude. Like if you can't be confident, if you can't be a Rainbow Dash personality, which is why she's my favorite pony probably, then you can't make it. It's like being the best flyer in Equestria. If you don't think you're the best flyer in Equestria, then you aren't the best flyer in Equestria. Yeah.
What led you to start the Brony radio?
Good question. Celestia Radio, throw him a pin. There you go. It was a good throw. We started. Okay, I should remove the we because I was actually not one of the founding members of the radio station, but I am the only remaining member that at one point had led the station. It's a little confusing. I'll explain. In the spring of 2011, I think it was, when Ponies was going through its first season, on the boards of 4chan, CO, right? There was a discussion of, it was when the first handful of music artists started making music, like Alex S. and and Macan and frickin' Jackalap and some of the other guys. What? No. Sure. I actually wasn't even a part of the fandom at the time. So probably April, March-ish area of 2011 when Ponies was first ending the first season. A couple guys got together and said, there's a lot of really cool pony music going on. There should be some kind of a station or a medium with which we can play this music for people and introduce people to pony music. And those 3 folks that started that up were Hooflander, PH Pony, and a guy named Karai, whose name is Landon Manning. And those 3, with the help of a 4th after a short time, whose name is Prison Fishy. If anyone's familiar with someone called Prison from a little bit back in the
Someone
days.
called Prison, I've been there once.
Right. Not some place, some person. You look like you were getting ready to say something.
Prison sounds like that guy who does the macaroni and cheese commercials.
Yeah.
Called Ghost.
Yeah. So he has a really awesome, deep chocolate voice. I mean, it is amazing.
Ted Williams.
Yeah. Someone actually, Ghost. If anyone remembers the Capitalist Radio guy named Ghost, right?
Oh yeah.
He actually called Jesus Christ. And he hated, Alex S made a song about the guy called Melting Pot of Alcohol. And basically this dude Ghost was a radio person who hated bronies and anything that wasn't capitalism. And so bronies would call in and troll this dude all the time.
Yeah.
In prison.
Sorry, I just derailed whatever.
I know. No, I get back on the subject. Just wait. I come full circle. I mean, sorry. So then prison.
Pony history, you guys.
Giggity. So prison calls in at one point, and this dude. I mean, he trolls this dude so hard because he's talking to him for a while. He's like, "Oh my God, is this the golden voice guy?" And prison's like, yeah, this is Ted Williams or whatever, and it starts talking in his deep ass voice that I can't mimic, and starts talking to him, and then he talks for a solid 5 minutes, and he's like, yeah, I just wanted you to know that I had a fruit basket for you, and then he starts to like pause and figure out like what's going on. He's like, wait a minute. And then he's like, yeah, the brony said hi. And he's like, God damn it! Ah, Jesus Christ! He starts like freaking out like he always does. And anyway, so prison did some sweepers for the station. And it was barely a radio station at that point. It was just a 24/7 music thing that people could hijack into and listen to in their iTunes or online. And that had sweepers in between. We'll save it for a little later. So that's what the station was for some time. Hooflander was the main owner. He created the website, did the graphics for it. PH Pony maintained the website, did a lot of the statistics things, a lot of the technical stuff, and Karai was like the PR dude. And one day I emailed that PR dude around May or June. Around May or June, 5 o'clock in the morning. Around morning potato. Whoa. That I did nothing. See nothing. And around May or June, when I started to get into the fandom, I'd actually seen on a YouTube video of Flim Flam Philosophy, the mentally advanced series, for those that are familiar with it. They now go by Radiant Dawn, or they now go, what is it? A Dawn Somewhere is what they go by now. Petarep was actually here at the convention. He had a vending stand. He's the animator for the Rainbow Dash Presents series. Anyway, those guys made their videos, and I love mentally advanced. It's part of what got me into the fandom. And on one of the videos, there was a comment about Celestia Radio. I don't remember what the hell it was about or what they were saying. I was like, holy shit, a radio station. I work in radio. That sounds like fun. So I decided that I would email them. And I was like, hey, I'm a real DJ. I do this, that, and the other. And I feel like there should be some live voicing stuff, on this radio station instead of just music 24/7. And they all, three talked to each other, and they were like, holy shit, someone that works at radio, and I guess they got back with me, and they were like, sure. And then I became a member of staff, and by that point I decided to expand exponentially the staff and started inviting more people to become DJs. I started doing a shift of 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day, which is like 40 some hours a week. Yeah. And then I would go to work at 5 p.m. and do real radio from 5 until like 11 p.m. And I kept that up for like a solid couple months. And during that time, their listener numbers went from like a stagnant 30 to like an active 130. And I think we broke the system numerous times because they had a cap of only 100 people they could like jack into the station. And we had to raise that to 200 and then to 300. And then when I took over the station, we actually removed it completely. So now I think the highest number we've had at one time was like 900 some listening at once, which is unreal and super awesome. So that's sort of how it started. It is the first pony radio station out there that was created. There was an Every Pony Radio that was started a little while after CR started, but we were also the first to do live personalities. Really pride ourselves in that, and love our musician friends. Overkillius is there in the back. Hi, Overk. One of my first musician buddies, and we hooked it up. Alex S was actually one of the first people that I really listened to their music. And it's funnily enough, he listened to Celestia Radio, and I never knew this. And every day I would get on, and I would just be talking about him, like, yeah, Alex S, here's another song, you know, this dude's cool. And, you know, I like to think that's one of the initial reasons why I started to become really popular, because it was kind of the only radio station at the time. And he said, he played it once, and at one point he got a hold of me and said, yeah, man, I listen to CR every day when I'm, you know, on my way to work and back and stuff, and I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. So I convinced him to come into our IRC chat at one point, and everybody went ballistic. They were like, oh my God, is that really Alex S? And he was like, yeah, guys, what's up? You know, or whatever.
Is that what he sounds
I'm
like?
chocolatey brown. I don't know. He's
Chocolatey brown?
He is. He is a golden brown sex god is basically his persona.
Next time we see him, can we just call him Puerto Rican Thunder God?
That's fine. I don't know what ethnicity he is. He's Lebanese.
Lebanese Thunder God.
Lebanese Thunder God.
Porto Lebanese Thunder
Porto Lebanese. Porto Lebaricanese. Something. Thunder God, right. You were right. So yeah, those are the early days, the hard hours. You know, Prison decided to do a show after I was doing mine for a few weeks. Sorry, this thing is bugging me. And he did a late night show called The Marshmallow or The Mushmallow or The Mushroom. I don't know, it was really confusing. He changed it like every night. Mine was just Celestia Radio Live with DJ Shamrock. That was a very simple thing. And, you know, I got on, I would do news, I would talk about the latest shit on EQD.
Raging with the Rock.
Raging with the Rock. And on DHN, and would bring people on, do interviews, you know, just chat with the people in the IRC, just keep people happy and entertained. That was what my focus on radio was and has always been about. You know, is that it doesn't so much matter the professionalism of, you know, what the outside looks like or how perfect in PG-13 everything is. Yeah, you have to take a shot every time I say professionalism.
It's just apple juice.
It was, and you know, it was always this thing for me where I hated censorship and I hated the idea that, you know, some people are prevented from having a voice because people think that they aren't worthy of having a voice, and I really hated that idea. And I always championed the fact that, like, hey, you know, call in on Skype. I'll put you on the air, you know, say whatever you want to say. I don't censor anybody. Everything goes, you know. And we warn people about that. There's certainly a type of crowd that goes along with Celestia Radio because it is, you know, totally anything goes. But we have our clean cut shows. We have our professional shows, and you don't have anything left. And we have you know, we have our more risque. What is that sound?
Brisket.
We have our more risque stuff, you know, but
You said we had more brisket.
more brisket stuff. And that's just kind of how things started. And I always kept up that idea that it's about the listeners and it's about promoting really cool personalities that know what they're doing, or at least giving people a venue to, you know, live out kind of their dream or their passion or their hobby, whatever it is, or they just want to try doing on-air stuff for the first time. That's cool, you know, put them on air. Do I have an American flag? America! And, you know, so I'm passionate about this stuff. Like, that's why I really, really love radio, and I believe that it is a medium that people should be able to speak their minds and F the FCC and other things promoted on Family Guy at one point or the other. But yeah, so that's how things started and continued, and we had our ups and downs, and eventually Everfree Radio was started, the radio station that is not to be named, that I named already. Anyway, there's some hubbub between the two of us, but we've settled our differences for the most part, and by that I mean we've crushed them.
You should hype train for us.
And by all means, next question.
Wait, did you just take off your pants?
Hang on. You shut up. We have a question. Yes, sir.
I know what I've been seeing in the brony community a lot things start up and it starts off hard, goes hard for like a long period of time, and then like after maybe about a couple months or a year, it just starts either slacking or just dies completely. Do you think the radio station has, I guess you say, dwindled since you first got there or taken over, or do you think it's still going as strong as it started?
Here's what's happened. This spandex, I just can't handle it. It's definitely a good question because you're right. There are a lot of institutions in the fandom that dwindle or either die out or have their ups and downs, and you never hear from them for like ages, And I think the thing about us, and I hate to be that guy that tries to like make us sound different from everyone else, but let me just speak my mind on the subject. I try to attract people to the station that are passionate about what they do and they love the fandom, but they have this sort of connection to it that allows them to not get so caught up in the fandom. They're still like real, they're like still real people that
So we get along.
right? That can take a joke or that cannot get caught up in stuff and all this drama and everything, because we hate it. We have always been the neutral station for the most part. There's been times when we've got caught up in it, but overall, we have stayed. We came out strong in the beginning of the station's history, and that definitely helped us. It helped us give us a lead. And then even when EFR started and eventually turned into EFN, and some of the other stations started coming up like Lunar Radio and some of the others, we continued to thrive, and we had our moments, mostly of my fault. When I took over the station at the end of 2012, I actually dropped out of college, and I continued running the station because I wanted to devote all of my time to it. By being the owner at that point. I was just a radio personality up till that point, the lead sort of radio guy for the station. But then I took over and owned it and tried to come up with some ideas for a plan of where the station was going to go, what kind of people we were going to try and attract, and it's my whole focus has always been I will not dumb down the station to some perfect level to try and get a wide, gray area audience. I will always focus on like, if you like us, you're gonna like us for who we are and what we're about. And if you don't, then we're not for you. It's just kind of how it's always been. And so we've always kept that crowd, that central core, with our station. Now those numbers did pull down from that 300 a day, because other stations opened up. And when you have, we had no competition basically in the beginning. So anyone who wanted music or radio, they came to us because that's what we provided. But then as more stations started to open up, of course those numbers started to move around because people preferred one style of radio or another. And EFN definitely had a certain pull to it of being strictly PG-13. So if you were one of those more puristic people that didn't want to hear anything that wasn't or that was a little risque or whatever, could be profanity or anything like that, you definitely were not a person that would listen to CR. Now, of recent, EFN has dived quite a bit due to some, I won't say unfortunate, but some varying opinions of the main guy that runs the station, including his treatment of show staff that I find rather appalling. But I won't trash talk or do any of that nonsense because I don't like to do that, at least in public. But
Come talk to us outside.
After we did end up joining the Ponyville Live group, which is a promotional group that they're filming this panel. They're a media group that ties together quite a lot of radio stations and sort of media-esque networks, and they also help promote and advertise. Hoof Sounds is also an awesome what do I call that?
Chrome extension?
Gadget, yeah, Chrome extension. Thank you. That allows people to download it on Chrome, and you can listen to whatever radio station you want. That's part of PVL.
Firefox also.
What?
Firefox also.
Firefox also. Right. Sorry. And so that helped us a lot because we were just having an outreach problem, I think. A large majority of our initial audience had left the fandom. I think that was probably a huge part of it because the people we attracted were those people that were, kind of revolving doors sometimes. Or they kind of got tired of the fandom or the show or whatever, and those people leave. It happens. That initial crew that came into the fandom in 2011, a lot of them are not here anymore. But it happens, and our numbers since having some good advertisement from PVL, Hoof Sounds making it easily accessible for people to get on, and our me really grabbing the reins and locking down on making this station the best I could after I got a much better job and situation in life. We have been able to succeed and are now at the top of that radio list, most of the time, and our numbers have been good, and we've accomplished our goal of coming back to the top, and I like to think that no matter what happens, no matter how many ups and downs there are, CR will never die as long as I live. Because I don't like to give up on things. I have that Rainbow Dash personality, and we can fail sometimes, but just makes us more determined to get back up and knock everybody else down.
Is that why you did the song Determination?
It's God damn it. I did a song on the After Party album for those that are familiar with Balloon Party with New Catalyst, the song called Determination. I did the vocals in that. I've also done work with Icky, who did the song Spin That Record Vinyl Scratch. I did the vocals for that, and which was a pretty popular one. Feeling alright. What? 2012? What? After Party came out in, yeah. It was when I was still talking to most of the musicians that were still around the fandom. Most of them started to leave at that point. Okay, thank you for that information. So we've been doing good, having a fun time. Hi, Reed.
Hi, Reed. Tag.
You can suck it. That's how it's been, and that's how I hope it continues to go. This guy's Reed. He's also sort of part of CR like Swivel, aka Adam over there. Hey. He also runs the musicians and or guests at this convention. Mostly musicians.
Wrangler.
He's a wrangler. Any other particular question? Yep.
So then, how exactly did you all wind up meeting each other? Through radio or?
Us up here on the table?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, dear God.
All right. Well, as far as this, I think. Wait. I got to think about this one for a solid second.
Yeah, so do I.
Okay. So, Swivel.
Must have been a wild night.
Swivel, I met for the first time at BronyCon 2012.
So we're all in this hotel room.
I met Reed via Swivel at BFF, the first one. But Spazzy, I think, is probably the first person in the fandom that I met that's up on this panel right
Actually,
now.
the first person in the fandom.
It's true. He was the virus. So Spaz and I are buds. I call him Spazzy. His name is Spaz, but most people call him Spazzy now, I think, because I call him Spazzy. I don't know, it's a contagious thing. It's weird.
Very affectionate.
It's sorry, I'm Irish. I'm a passionate guy. He doesn't mind. Yeah. Hey, I go by Sham, Shammy, Sham Wow. My uncle actually calls me Sham City. It's a weird one. I don't really get it.
Shamosity.
Yeah, Shamosity.
Sham, why don't you call me Swivy?
Why don't I call you what?
Swivy.
Swivy?
I want a new one.
Because there's an L in your name. The Y's at the end of his name. Swively?
Swivly.
Swively?
Swivel.
I could call you Snivy. The Pokemon. Yeah. You actually chose Snivy? Good man, me too. So Spaz I knew first because he's from DHN, and DHN and CR have had a very long-standing history.
You're blood brothers.
We are blood brothers because DHN has a very similar outlook on the world that we have, I guess, and that is that anyone and everyone, and
Not everything has to be professional.
right. I mean, it's all about get the information out there, say what you want to say, mean what you want to mean. Don't put on a face for society just because they might not like it.
It's a cartoon about little ponies.
Right. Right.
What?
Like, I don't pay much attention to any of the news sites, other than I guess I used to check EQD.
Thanks.
I know. So it's like DHN sort of the mid-ground between like EQD and horse news.
Horse news is very new. DH.
Fucking like
Actually, DHN.
Question mark?
what?
From my experience, like I found DHN to be a bit more centric on like the actual news instead of like.
It's
DHN is
My Little
actually
Pony
about
news.
news.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't put
Yeah.
much spin on it.
If I need news for the fandom, I go to DHN because
It's just news.
EQD is so swayed. It's so gross.
And there is too much fan fiction.
Yeah.
That has always been my number one complaint. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sophisto's not that bad of a guy, and a lot of the EQD guys are pretty cool. Like Zyro and Serial, and some of the other ones. They're cool guys. And I get along with them as I get along with the DHN guys. Although
If I
more
may
so
set
with
the
them.
record straight.
Sure, do it.
DHN is a news site. Equestria Daily is what's called a media aggregator,
Right.
which
Right.
means
They don't
anything
produce
and everything.
news. Right. They don't so much produce news. DHN does.
They're
they
very
write
different
articles.
functions.
They write articles. They do interviews. I'm afraid. Okay.
Don't be afraid.
That's the beard.
That's the beard. Does the beard wear your hat sometimes?
It.
Wait. I asked this question to BFF, not to interrupt you, but I'm still really curious about it.
Okay.
Do you wear the beard, or does the beard wear you?
I still. It's a difficult
To be determined.
question.
It's an ongoing war.
It is an ongoing war. And it gets interesting.
You're only bonded together by the souls contained within the shillelagh.
Right. I always say, for those that are familiar with Naruto, my beard is a lot like Kasame's sword, and then it feeds on and then it feeds on life force. So as long as my body continues to produce enough life force, and the shillelagh helps, because it's got like millions of souls inside of it. For those that don't know, this is a branch of the Yggdrasil tree. And we cut it off specifically for me to have a walking stick.
2 universes you've ended.
Right, I actually had a shillelagh and then I lost it. So one universe was lost forever, and then this one is a new one that we cut off. It did. Yeah, at that convention. I left it in the hotel. I don't know. No. I lost it at Nightmare Nights, I think. I think I had it there. I think I had it at Nightmare Nights. Yeah. Right. Anyway.
By the way, go to Nightmare Nights.
Right. Yeah. So, hi Discord. Anyway. Trying to remember.
Remember what I thought they meant John the Lance, and what?
Welcome to John the Lance season. I would have been a little more excited about it than that. Yeah, so DHN's cool. Blood Brother. Oh yeah, you asked me how long I've known all these people. Sorry, I was trying to remember. So yeah, I don't remember when the first time
We physically met at BFF, like 2012.
Right, but we knew each other before
certainly knew
that.
each other.
We certainly knew each other before that. Did we know each
Well, we
other?
initially started talking when we were trying to set up the drinking game at BFF then.
Oh right.
Oh man, that was a glorious night.
But we were definitely hooked up with DHN on our side, like a link exchange. Quite prior. I definitely think it was prior to BronyCon. In fact, I actually think we bitched about
I know you met Fatsy long before you met me.
Oh yeah, I knew Fatsy for a while, but yeah, so
By the
that
way, if you know of the Trixie pillow, is anyone familiar with the Trixie pillow?
it's a Dakimakura pillow.
Okay, good for you. If you don't,
Yeah, it's a Dakimakura pillow of Trixie and very lewd.
Andy Price knows it very well.
Yeah, Andy Price, one of the guys that works on the MLP IDW comics. We've talked to him quite a few times. He's a cool dude. And we brought him liquor. And he got to see and do very interesting things to that Trixie pillow. Although I've been sworn to never produce that footage, or he would come find me and kill me. So right. So then this guy, and then that guy, and then that guy, and then this. Wait. Yeah, and then this guy.
No.
This is actually.
The vast majority.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, but you're not up here, is what he was asking.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, well.
Please don't come up here. Please don't.
So I met this dude at BFF as well as this guy. We both actually were rooming in the same place as well as this guy and that dude in the back.
We were
that guy, yeah, there were quite a few people there. It was kind of a sausage fest, but I mean, it was all right. Right. And then let's see. And then it's not August yet, is it? And then nearly a year ago is when I met this guy. Yeah. And the rest is history. What time actually is it? That's cool.
Supposedly.
Huh? That's fine. Go especially watch Eurobeat because he's a cool dude. He is. Travis. Hey. It's fine. That's creepy.
You sure?
Yeah.
Oh, don't.
Oh
my God.
All right. So other questions.
Beer battle.
Beer battle.
Beer battle.
Hello.
You have a goatee. It doesn't count.
Other questions?
Please submit your question in the form of a question.
This guy right here.
Speaking of the songs you did earlier, you plan on doing any more?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh God, don't die, anybody. So, let me think. I did the first song I ever did, which is actually a song I would like to hear produced better. I came up with was called, I think, just Rainbow. And it was for what was called a toast beard. For anyone that's never heard of a toast beard before, in the early days of the musical community in this fandom, all of the musicians would get together on a forum kind of based, it's really weird actually. It's almost like a 4chan style thing. But they set up a competition and they're like, all right, here's the theme. It's gonna be about, I think it had to be about something uplifting, right? And so that week, everybody, from Jackalap to, I don't know if Alex S ever competed in them, but Jackalap, like Living Tombstone, Glaze, who's also known as Wooden Toaster. There's so, like, Derpy Grooves, all the really old ones. Overk was probably in them. Yeah, Overk did some of them. Do you actually remember the song Rainbow that I did? Yes. He does. All I can remember is okay, cool. All I can remember about it is, and it's actually the first time I met most of the musicians because they'd never really heard of me or associated with me, and I was like, I don't really have any production equipment. I don't know how to, compose necessarily very well, but I have instruments and I know how to sing and play, and I have a very bad recording equipment. This sounds like a good idea. So I made up lyrics and everything and like a melody, and I actually put piano, violin, and vocals together. Very bad, like literally this is what I did. I opened Audacity on my shitty laptop. I held a microphone just like this, neck pointed at a grandstanding piano that didn't have like an open thing. It was like a stand-up piano. I pointed it at that, and then I had a violin. I pointed it at that, and I played that, and then I chopped those files together and on top of each other, and then I sang, and then I put that on top of it, and it sounded terrible. But the idea is what I was proud of. The lyrics and the melody and everything, and I came up with that in like in like 2 days, I think. Like I literally got a piece of paper that had lines on it and started drawing notes. That's like how I produced music. Like I didn't know any other way. So I was like, all right, right hand, RH, this note, this note, this note, this note, you know, just like drawing little progressions and stuff. And I knew nothing about music theory or anything, just kind of what sounded good in my head. And it was a very weird Gregorian, almost chant style kind of a thing I was going for. And I can remember that Jackalap, this is one thing I almost will never forget. I remember when they play all the songs together once they've been produced, and they vote on the best one that they liked. And Jackalap commented something saying like, he's like, "Wow, I really kind of dig the idea of this song. I would love to do some Gregorian chant kind of like this." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's like such a huge compliment." Like it was such a shitty produced song. It was really mixed. I didn't even mix it. It was just like Audacity done. All right. Yeah, so that was the first one I ever did. That was an ancient amount of time ago. The only real original work that only I did was that one. Then I worked with Bagpipe Brony, who's here at this convention. I don't know where he's at actually. He's probably getting ready for his set. I think he plays tonight. We did 3 songs together. The first one was Lady Rarity. It was a vampiric kind of song. He likes to do really interesting German like goth type stuff, like Blue Tingle, if anybody is familiar with that band. Stuff like that, real gravelly, like I don't know. So we did that song. The next one was a song that's in German that I can't pronounce, was it in German or was it in Latin? I sang in Latin, but I think the name of the song was German, but it means something Luna, something night, I don't know. It was the song about how Luna became Nightmare Moon, like the progression of Luna having dark thoughts and then Celestia trying to plead with her to, don't let the darkness into your heart, and then by the end, like she's full on demon mode.
Was this before or after the season 4 premiere?
Oh, this was this was actually after the very beginning of season 2, I think. Okay. So it was after the Nightmare Night. Yeah. It was after that episode, which is actually not called that. I don't know what Luna's Eclipse, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Luna's Eclipse? Yeah. Luna Eclipse, right. So it was after that, but it was very prior to any other season after season 2.
Did they in the show actually explain
Well, the season 4 premiere kind of went over the whole.
Oh right, yeah, it was way before. Yeah, it was before that. But the song was general enough that it was kind of, it made sense basically. What happened based on the information we knew. And then I did a song with him much more recently called Autumn Night, which was a arrangement of Jackalap's Autumn, but in a more dark sense it's actually about Derpy, and we have the voice of Baldumba Rat in it. And they, basically Derpy is being sought after by this, vampire pony or whatever, and he's talking about how he needs her in his life and all this stuff, that he wants to keep her caged and alone, in his crazy castle or whatever, I don't know.
So do I.
I know you do. Yeah, so that song happened, and then let's see what else. Then, the one with Icky, who was priorly known as Keep On Rockin', if anyone remembers the name Core or Corey or Keep On Rockin' Brony. He originally did a Spin That Record Vinyl Scratch, which was really, really popular, but he hated it because he didn't like the sound of his voice, and he thought that the hard style was really shitty in it, which I thought was unfortunate because I love that song. So when he said, "Hey, I need a voice for this, would you like to do it?" I said, "Hell yes, I would." And I did. So if you look up Spin That Record Vinyl Scratch by Icky, that's me as well. And then I think I mentioned the one I'm probably the most known for, unfortunately, is Determination, which is on the After Party album with New Catalyst. He produced it, and I did vocals for it. I came up with the lyrics, the melody, and I did the vocals. It was a fun song, but he'd never worked with vocals ever before in his entire life. So the mixing and the mastering was a little on the sketchy side, and my voice sounded kind of muddy, but still a great song, in my opinion. But yeah, so those are all the songs I've done. Do I want to do more? I'm very beyond the point where I feel like I would be able to really do that anymore. Maybe at some point where I get a really good mic for music production and get more back into music. The thing that I would like to do the most, actually, that I actually had a real idea for, was combining Gregorian chants with beatboxing, because beatboxing is very rhythmic and needs a rhythm and a time and all of that stuff. And Gregorian chant is exactly the opposite. So blending those two together, just completely vocal, because I prefer to do that stuff since I don't have any kind of electronic equipment or anything that I can make sound good. If I can just take vocals and have it completely a cappella, that's the stuff I love. So beatboxing and singing and stuff like that is cool, and I like it. Yeah. So other questions? I don't know how much time. Oh, it's already 8 o'clock. Well, if there was any final question, raise your hand now, anyone who hasn't asked it. Final questions, less
You're
chance.
gonna be on the radio again.
This guy.
Why are you still up there? Stop hell now.
Okay, come on up.
You get a button for that.
Come on down. Oh! I thought it was a one-hander. Nice one.